Hey, what's up guys? It's Ruben from Camilla the 68 Cougar. Before we get started with today's episode, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video if you like what you're seeing. With today's episode, what we're going to talk about is something unique to this 1968 Mercury Cougar build. In previous videos, I've talked about the wiring system that's going into my 1968 Mercury Cougar. Big shout out to Ron Francis with partnering with this build for that and supplying everything that we need there. In addition, as we think about electrical, we're always thinking about the battery components too as well. So a big thing about batteries here, there hasn't been too many advances in the battery sector. First thing I always think about when it comes to batteries is the Optima. When it comes to performance, they have the yellow, red, and they have another color. I forget what it is. Red, yellow, and I think it might be blue top batteries. Those from in the past that I've heard of have been great batteries. So I decided to explore a little further on other batteries out there. One of the things I have realized was that, hey, I've had actually a interesting type of battery in my off-road ATV, a sport ATV that I've used in the past for racing and just recreational use. Here's a picture of it here for reference. So I've used a lithium ion battery within my sport ATV for a number of years. Since COVID hit, the use of it has been minimal, to be honest with you, so it's been a lot of storage. But the interesting part that I have come to experience with these lithium ion batteries is that every time I go in there to pull the quad out, you know, after it's been sitting for about a year, for example, a year, 6 months, 5 months, 3 months, whatever it is, the same battery, I go in there, pull it out, and I kick it, or I start it, I'm sorry. I start the ATV and it fires right up. There seems to be no degradation in the lithium ion battery, which is fantastic. I have yet to actually need to charge it, even though it's been sitting for 6 months, a year, a couple of months, whatever it is. It always fires up and it always has plenty of juice. Apart from that, compared to a lead acid type of battery, you know, lead is just bad and there's acid in there and, you know, it's just not necessarily good. But it also weighs a ton. So after scouring about options out there, I came across a couple of options, right? Like I said earlier, there's the typical performance type Optima batteries that are said to be good. Lately I haven't good advice on them, but they're still like a typical battery. They're extremely heavy. I think they clock in about 36 pounds or some sort of that nature, around that ballpark. And then you have your standard batteries that are OEM that you can pick up from your local parts store, the dealerships, and places of that sort. So as I was scouring through the internet, I wanted to see if there was an opportunity for any companies out there that offer car battery equivalents in a lithium ion type of setting. So some of you might have seen, and as I was myself searching for other types of batteries like that, I did come across a battery company called Braille. These are batteries that are extremely lightweight in their lithium ion batteries. However, they're more geared towards racing applications where you kind of have like a bare bones type of wiring system. You don't have a ton of load. You might not need, you know, all the lights and all the interior stuff, stereo and all this stuff like that. So they're perfect for that portion of it. Once you start running into like a daily driver, a car that has power windows, a lot of electrical accessories, you're gonna need something a little bit beefier than that. So the Brailles don't necessarily work for that part of it. Good for racing applications, but not necessarily for everyday type of applications. So as I was scouring the internet, I came across this company called Antigravity Batteries. They're based out of Southern California, and they just have a huge catalog for applications with their lithium ion batteries. So I'd like to also announce that Antigravities has stepped up and formed a partnership to help support the build for Camilla the 68 Cougar. So big shout out to those guys. Thank you so much for helping me with this build, and I'm super excited to go over this new battery. You guys remember these things, right? It's gonna make these actually obsolete for my build specifically. Other people out there, they're probably still gonna need their jumper cables. not Camila anymore. Let's go ahead and get started. Hey guys, so before we jump into the battery here itself, I'm gonna pull kind of a Doug DeMuro type of introduction here and go over kind of the quirks and features of this particular lithium-ion battery from Antigravity Batteries. So a couple things. When the hell is the last time your battery came with a fob? Isn't this interesting? And you might be asking, okay, what the hell? Is that like a kill feature or something? Well, it's not necessarily a kill feature. It's really a remote start piece. So if this battery ever dies on you, it does have a built-in reserve system to keep it from dying 100%, and then you can operate your battery. So what this thing does is it holds a reserve for the battery itself, and essentially what it does is with this here, without having to open up your trunk or hood, you can click this button here and it's ready to rock. You can crank open that vehicle, and the reserve that's built into this smart, I'm gonna call it smart battery, will prevent you from having to use jumper cables or any of that sort and get your car running again. So that's super cool. And then you get 2 of these actually. I didn't take this one out because I really didn't want to use it, but you get 2 of those there. And then yeah, this one here, you could just attach to your keys and you're good to go on the go. That's pretty cool. So this particular battery, here's a part number AGH540RS. And let me tell you why I went with this battery. And again, Antigravity has batteries from motorcycles, off-road vehicles to everyday daily driver vehicles. This particular battery is specific for daily driving. And so let me tell you what group it is. Group H547, capacity is 40 amps per hour. And that's just a step above the base one, I believe, because I think it's 20, 30, 40, I believe. I could be wrong, but that's what serves me from my memory. And let me just double check that real quick. Yes, 40 is the top one here. And the reason why I got this beefier battery itself is because I'm going to be running electric windows, auto lock or electric door openers. I'm going to be running a couple of things there on that piece of it. And then I'm also going to be running a stereo system that's beefed up too as well. So I just wanted to have a good beefy battery to be able to power all those accessories that I have. All the lighting is going to be LED, so I'm not really worried about that. I wanted to focus more on all the other accessories that we're going to have in Camila the 68 Cougar. But check this out, cranking 1,500 cold cranking amps. That is massive. I looked at a couple other batteries, like I said, the Optimas, I think they range between 600 to 800. And I think standard batteries is under 500, I believe. And it just depends what levels of cold cranking amps you get. But this particular one has 1,500, which is massive. And I'm running a 302 motor with a big bump stick kind of, or like a mild bump stick there. So, it's not gonna have a problem cranking over this motor, obviously. I don't have this big FE, big block motor. So it totally should suffice for that. What else? Okay, I'm not gonna go into the weight savings yet, but I will talk about that part of it there. The other piece I want to talk about is just to give you a twirl around here. This is a standard size battery. So whatever battery you have for your vehicle that's OEM, for our Ford muscle cars and probably the Chryslers, the Dodge and Chevrolet vehicles out there, the classic ones at least, and maybe some of these late model vehicles too, this is the battery that you want to use for those, especially with modern vehicles. If you're looking to replace a battery out of a modern vehicle, you probably want this series, a 40 amp one or the 30 amp, just because these cars have tons of electronics now that are constantly monitoring all your accessories. So I'd probably get the beefier one just to be safe and call it straight. So the cool thing about these batteries themselves is they have a long shelf life and they have a very long use life. So with traditional lead acid batteries, typically, if I remember correctly, I think my battery from my daily driver died maybe like three or maybe 4 years in. I'm gonna say it was 3 years and it died out on me. So you guys know, you guys are constantly replace the batteries. If you go out there to Walmart and get a battery, they do have a warranty on them ranging from 1 to 3 years depending on how much that battery is. This battery is designed to last between 7 to 10 years. So think about that, because these batteries, I'll be honest with you guys, they're not cheap, but just the technology and the power they have is just tremendous. But they're not cheap, but they're very good quality batteries. And if they last you 10 years, you know, that's several batteries that you would go through from a lead acid based standpoint, okay? So that's the cool thing there. They typically last about 2 times longer than your traditional lead acid batteries. Now let me flip this up for you guys here, just to give you guys a look there. The cool thing about these batteries is they have like a rubbery coating on them all throughout the entire battery itself. It's like, I'm trying to think what it feels like, but I mean, it's almost like they took like a rubberized coating and coated these things. So that's kind of cool. You do have your handle here to pull up, which is really neat. Here's the posts here. I love these colors here. The gold posts are just awesome. Like, I saw that and I was like, damn, that's just really cool, right? So I really dig that piece of it here. And let me back this up again here, which I didn't cover this part. So in the event that you happen to lose your key fob and your car battery dies for whatever reason on this particular battery, this button here is pretty cool. So this button, what it does is it's essentially that emergency jump. So instead of using your cables to jumpstart the battery or your vehicle, you would literally just push the button here and voila, now you can jumpstart your vehicle without attaching jumper cables to it, and it boosts the motor over or kicks the motor over for you for the restart feature. So that's pretty cool. So again, don't worry if you happen to lose these down the road. If you end up getting one of these, always know you have a second one, but you also have the start feature here too as well to kick over your car if needed, okay? Okay, eco-friendly, that's kind of cool too because it doesn't have lead or acid. Typically with regular car batteries that are lead or acid based, you do recycle those, but these are a little bit more environmental friendly for you guys. And again, here's the warning label there. Let's scoot this up a little bit so you can see what that says. So with these lithium ion batteries, you can't use a standard lead acid charger. So for whatever reason, this thing happens to die for you and you're not able to crank it over, you do need a specific lithium ion type of recharger for that to trickle charge this or charge it enough so you can restart it. That's, again, if this feature fails here, then okay, yeah, you can do that part of it. And just tells you all the do's and don'ts here, or the don'ts mainly. Do not short circuit the battery, do not disassemble, do not blah, 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 blah. All that stuff. Then it talks about some restart features here. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, other than that, it's a cool coating that it has on here. I actually really dig that. Posts are really cool too. So the next big thing that I mentioned earlier was the weight savings themselves. So this is where these lithium ion batteries, apart from all the other benefits that I talked about with these lithium ion batteries that I'm excited about, is the weight. So let's get you a scale. All right, so I got the scale fired up for you guys here, and here's the battery. And let me show you guys, I could probably pick this up with one finger. Look at that, boom, one finger. Can you do that with any other lead acid battery that is full size for like a daily application vehicle with a lot of electronics? Hell no. So anyways, let's put this here on the scale and let's take a look and see how much this thing weighs. So that's the actual reading now. Let's get it down to 0 just to make sure we got an accurate reading. We put this bad boy on top here. And yeah, it actually was accurate at 12.8 pounds. Jeez, dude, this thing weighs nothing. Wow, that's so cool. So here's a reference of what typical lead acid batteries, one of the competitors' Optima batteries. Here's what these weigh. That's a lot of weight. I mean, compared to this lithium ion battery, huge weight savings. So yeah, a lot of benefits to these batteries. Pretty cool looking. I'm excited about it. I really am excited about it. And again, guys, I have experience with this with ATV lithium ion batteries, and that has worked tremendously well. So good thing that I thought about this when I was searching for a new car battery that I need for my build. This thing looks top notch. I can't wait to get it installed. And let me show you the battery hold down system that I got for it. So this battery mount here, I didn't get this from Antigravity Batteries. They have a couple of battery holders that were there. I actually wanted to show off my battery more. They had a box there that encloses the battery that's made out of, I think it's aluminum. But I wanted something that was going to show it. Just have a little bit more easier access if I do end up disconnecting things and so forth. So I got this really cool, this is actually billet aluminum. It's actually very good it's actually very high quality. I was actually surprised. I got it from Amazon, and I'm going to show you guys the link, the link in my description there. So I'll have that for you guys, so you guys can go on there and purchase it. This is made for standard size batteries, not specific to any particular battery. And I kind of went out on the whim there because I think the description on these say Optima batteries and regular car batteries. The good thing about the anti-gravity battery, because it's an OEM replacement type of battery, so it's like a standard size battery. So I took the gamble on this one, and it said, hey, you know what, I'll buy it, and if it doesn't work, then I'll just return it back. You know, thank God they had good return policies there. So yeah, this actually, it's really good quality. Like I said, it's all billet aluminum there. You have your holes here at the bottom. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is used to bolt down at the bottom of your sheet metal there. And then you run some bolts and you bolt it down so it stays in place. Up here, up top here, you got kind of a Y configuration. They give you a couple of bolts there because this is a standard battery. There's two of these here. These nuts right here. These nuts. Oh, let me get the in focus. Well, anyways, you get 2 of these nuts here. There you go. You get 2 of these. You get a couple of these actually. For this battery specifically, and I'm thinking this is going to be the same for a standard size battery as well. I think the anti-gravity battery is a little bit taller than your standard size batteries. So you're going to need a couple of these. I think, if I remember correctly, I went to Tractor Supply and I bought 3 extra nuts here. But it was essentially to raise the roof for the clamping roof of this here a little bit taller so it could fit over the battery. But that was pretty much it there, and I got it to work. Actually got it to work. So here's the Y piece out of it. It has a cool little turbo on there. MSCR, I guess, is the brand. It is Chinese, but you know, it looks really good quality, man. I mean, it's definitely going to work. I don't have any doubts about it. These here are adjustable. They send you these billet tubes here, and then you run a threaded piece there for all 3 of those. You can thread these down further if needed. This is already set height for the battery. Let me show you guys again. I'm going to put this in here just to illustrate that it does indeed fit. Pull this down here, and it fits perfectly actually. So perfect fit. Width-wise, it's perfect. Length-wise, it is There's about to my fingers, there's like about a finger length gap between them. I'm not really worried about that because once you put this on top here and put this down, and you slightly torque these down here. I'll show you guys. Torque those down. It's not really going to move actually. Oops. Okay, it's taking me way longer than it should, right? Okay, put that. But anyway, you guys get the gist of this. Once these are torqued down, this thing's not going to slide from, it's not going to move from left to right. So yeah, here's the battery box, and here's what's going to look like with this battery box. Again, the link to the Amazon product is in my description, so if you like this thing, I recommend it. Go ahead and give it a buy there using my link. And the cool thing is here, it still gives you the ability to use the button here for the restart if needed. And it's kind of a minimalist type of a battery. So yeah, I like it. Pretty happy with it. Super low cost, to be honest with you guys. So it's a great way to get yourself a cheap battery hold down kit. Hey guys, thanks for sticking through the entire video. Again, big shout out to Antigravity Batteries. Again, just to reiterate, we got 1500 cold cranking amps. The built-in battery protection is a really cool feature so you're not stranded out there and don't have junker cables. The remote fob thing, that thing is just so cool. It just blows my mind how cool that is. You don't even have to open the hood anymore to jumpstart your vehicle or your trunk, in my case. And then the life cycle of these batteries, these things are just twice as much as the standard lead acid battery. The huge weight savings you guys get, I mean gosh, if you guys are looking to cut some weight outside of yourself, this is a great way to cut that down there. Thanks again for watching the videos, and we'll catch you on the next one.